let's start with this policy, AD shock. Okay. Now, until what I meant is before today, this is what happens. If I'm asking you what happened with the economy if there is aggregate demand shock, then you will draw this chart, right? If the shock is negative, they call it fiscal consolidation. What it meant is basically you cut the spending, okay, or you raise the taxes, and that means a negative AD shock, right? So if AD shock is negative, the IS curve shift to the left, correct? And we learn that if the IS curve shift to the left, output will go down, basically, from Yn to Y prime, right? But then, if under that circumstances, policymakers, especially the monetary authority, in case of Indonesia, Bank Indonesia, thinks that this is not good, this is dangerous, so what they do is they lower the interest rate. Then what you do is you shift down the LM curve from LM to LM prime. And if that is the case, then output will go back to Yn. Okay? So that is the story that we learned before labor market. But now we learn there is a labor market. So what is the story from the labor market? Well, the story is that if the original level is this point A is the original equilibrium, so here, okay. But then if the price, if there is a negative AD shock, then what happens is that the point of A will move to A prime here. Okay. So notice what happened. What is the difference between A and A prime in terms of the change in inflation? The change of the inflation will become negative, right? So, because the change of the inflation is negative, then you have to go back to the real balance. Remember the M over P? I think it was the first day, or at least the second day we discussed was, if the inflation rate is going down, or even negative in this case, because you know if this is negative, below zero means negative, that means inflation rate goes down, let's say from 5% to 2%. So from here to here, according to the analysis here, according to the Phillips curve, output will go up. So the equilibrium is moving from A prime to A again. That is the story of introducing labor market. So before today, this is the only story you know. Okay. Now, what is the difference here? Now, the difference here is that if suppose there is negative AD shock, that is IS curve move to the left, and let's say the Bank Indonesia did not respond at all, so we still stay with the same LM here, then what happens is the output will go down, right here. But according to the labor market, if that is the case, inflation will continue to go down. So it doesn't matter whether there is a monetary response or not. So it doesn't matter whether LM will shift down to LM prime or not. Then the economy will experience a negative change in the inflation rate, which means the inflation rate goes down. And according to the PC, if that is the case, output will go up. You see the difference between with and without labor market? Without labor market, if you want to go back to your original level of output, you need to do some extra policy, and that extra policy is lowering the interest rate. But without that labor market, the level of output will go back to the original one, even if you don't do anything with the monetary policy. Is that clear? Any question? If there's no question, I'm going to ask question here. Okay? And here is my question. Now that you know the difference between the top one and the bottom one, let me repeat. The bottom one will automatically happen from A prime back to A, even without change in the monetary policy. So if we know the difference here, put it in the reality, in real world situation. What is the difference here in reality? Let me rephrase the question. Maybe the question is not that clear. Let me rephrase the question to make it clear, and then I'll ask you. You know the difference between the top chart and the bottom chart. It's clear, right? Of course, if I ask you what's the difference between the two, then you will repeat what I explained. The difference is that the top one is with monetary policy, the bottom one is without monetary policy. But my question is, why there is a difference here? Why the bottom chart shows even without monetary policy, the level of output goes back to the original one? I guess that's the question. Is the question clear now? Because it's not fair to ask question if the question itself is not clear. Is the question clear?
Yeah, I'll try to guess. Because essentially, in the long run, we will have a certain fixed rate of output. So regardless in the short run, if we change the rate in the long run, it will go back to its initial position.
You mean in the medium run? Because we have discussed long run. In the medium run. Yes. Absolutely. And the lower one is, the upper one is in the short run, the lower one is the medium run. So what happens is that if monetary policy didn't do anything, okay, then you still have a lower Y. But if you're patient enough, give 3 more years, in the medium run, it will go back by itself. Okay? So that is the essence of our topic today, is moving from short run to medium run. So that's the difference here. Okay? So essentially, that is the key point that, in a way, I'm trying to convey from today's class here. Because before today, we are all stuck with here. So in order for us to go back to YN, we need to do something. And that something is monetary policy. But from today's class, basically we can argue, you don't need to do anything. Over time, okay, medium run, output will go back to the level, to YN here. Okay? I don't know how much time, Jana or Cozy, how many more time I have? Because I need to decide which one.
So you still have half an hour left.